Hey everyone, Lloydimus here, and in today's episode, we're going to be going through the creation process of another World of Warcraft character. So if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the bell icon for future notifications. Enjoy. First, we use a program called WoW Model Viewer. It's pretty common amongst people who like to use machinima and stuff, but it's a good way to get models from inside the game of, characters, items, things along that nature. Here we're just kind of dabbling around with the female gnome model. I don't even really need the head, so I don't even need to care about any of the type of facial features, things like that. Next, we're going to import our models into, I don't know, whatever type of modeling software you would want to use. I'm using Blender today. It's just what I'm a little familiar with, so I like to use this. I'll then be putting the models together, kind of just, I want to get a feel, for what this character is going to look like once it's printed out, making sure proportions are correct. Got to change the scaling for some things. Now I could just export it as an STL like this and print it like this, but it's going to create more support structure. And sometimes, depending on like the action of the model and a lot of the overhangs and things like that, I might decide to take it apart a little bit, kind of put pieces on the ground and print it piece by piece. That way I have less support structure. Okay, now we're going to import our model into our Kira slicer. This is the program we're going to use to create our G-code files for a 3D printer. So I didn't deviate too much from the default settings of my Kira 5.2.1, I believe. But this is something that if you're printing something like this yourself, you're going to want to fiddle around with, kind of see what is most optimal for yourself. I've noticed, for me personally, the RAS setting for the base is kind of gives you a little more margin for error, I would say, in your prints, because sometimes you'd have, if something's just not perfect with your level bed, you might have issues getting something to adhere. Like, it's all about those initial layers you're printing. That's going to optimize your print overall. So I forgot to record a little footage, my bad. There was a little footage of me kind of putting some of the LED lights inside the shoulders, because I had LED lights inside the shoulders, the helmet. I'm kind of running through the body that will run to the batteries in the base for the character here. So sorry about that. But basically all I'm doing now is kind of just cleaning up the model, filing it down, putting some base layers of paint on it. So here it kind of just said screw it. So I wasn't really going to use much white in there, but I wanted to kind of just get a good outline for a lot of different kind of like changes, I guess you'd say, in the dress of the character, because there's a couple different colors in there where like the ropes go across. So I just want to kind of do an overall white outline for everything so I can kind of see it, get more of like an overall idea of how things were going to look. And my poor eyes is like hard seeing some of the darker shades of gray that I wanted to put on there against the paint, the black paint. So I just outlined it first in white for kind of like the areas where it changed, and then I went back through them. I did a base layer of a dark gray for kind of the shoulders and the helm. Then I went back through it kind of with my ivory white. Then I realized it was a little too bright at that point, so then I had to start kind of layering some darker shades into some more like the crevices and stuff, putting more detail in the horns, things along that nature. And we started adding some more fine details kind of in the face area, kind of outlined, add some more definition to some of the other like robe areas along the dress. And then we added the eyes, which were really fun. I was kind of scared at first. I was thinking about maybe I should have done the eyes before the skull, but I think it worked out kind of just fine. I got me a good picture of some gnome eyes. I think I logged in actually. I just logged in to like the loading screen and looked at a gnome. Kind of just tried to recreate the eyes of a female gnome. And there we had it. Once I got to the base, I just used a couple shades of gray. Kind of worked my way up from the rocks on the base. Then I used some lighter shades for highlights on those. Used some dry sawdust that I had. Put some paint in a baggie, shake it up to create like a granular terrain on the base. Then I worked up with some kind of hobby grass, a little baggie of that. I didn't have a static applicator, which is kind of like the optimal thing to do because it kind of helps the grass stand up once you place it on the glue on the foundation, but I didn't have that. Well, that's it for today, guys. Again, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for future notifications on my channel. If you have any suggestions or projects, things you want to see going on in the future, just put a comment below. And again, follow my social media links in the channel. I really appreciate it. Peace out.